What is going on, everyone? Before we begin today, if you do like my content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like today's video. What we're going to go ahead and do here is just dive in and break down how you can stop plays out of trips tight end. I personally like to run my 3-4 defense versus trips tight end. There's a few different coverage shells that I can mix in order to take out the good plays in trips tight end. Good plays that you're going to face are verticals, X spot, drive post, and some sort of like curl flat post or Texas here in Oklahoma State playbook are the main kind of plays that you're going to face. Other things that you'll have to worry about is just like a quick base or an RPO, which we'll obviously touch on how to counter that as well. To set up the defense, what I'm going to do here, I want to make sure auto flip is on. This way, if they do flip their trips tight end, the blitzer will always be on the trip side. Now, the play we're going to call here is Will Buck 3 press. And then we're going to go ahead and make sure that cover 0 shell is selected. It's just my preferred coverage look versus trip side end, so we get more defenders on the trip side of the field. Let's dive into it. So we're going to begin simply just by showing the blitz, and then I'll touch on the two coverage shells that I like to run. So with setting up the blitz every time, you want to shade down just so it's going to take off any match or anything that happens. And then we're simply just going to move this guy out, usually in between the middle and slot wide receivers in the trip set. Now Reese here, you'll go ahead and man this up to the slot wide receiver so it looks like this. To complete the coverage shell, what I do, I hard flat this corner right here. I go ahead and third this guy. And then the strong safety, I'm going to go ahead and put him in a deep half. And then I'll usually just purple my linebacker on the tight end side. That's just going to help with stopping any sort of corner route or anything that they may have over there if they're in verticals. I'm used to this guy right on the defensive tackle just in order to help stop the run. Or if I need to sit in the middle of the field or just switch stick over to the linebacker on the right. That's the only person that you should really need to switch stick over. You can see to stop this tight end route in verticals, and the blitz got there pretty easily. So the second coverage shell is going to look like this. I'm going to put the outside guy in a cloud flat. I'm going to man this guy up to the outside wide receiver. So to X, that's basically just going to take away like a streak or fade if they're in verticals. I'm going to deep half downs, deep half ransom. And then again here, we're just going to man this guy up to Y. What we'll do then is still purple the guy on the right, and then we're just going to go ahead and lurk the middle, kind of watch for seam streaks to this inside wide receiver here in trips. Otherwise, you just sit in the middle of the field, and then you can switch stick over to the corner here if you need to. Now with the right hand side here, there's times in verticals when your opponent will do something like flat the tight end, or sorry, not flat the tight end, they're going to table route the running back. So you can either sit in the middle of the field here, you can man this guy up to the running back if you want. So what we're going to start out with here is verticals. You're mostly going to face just two sort of play setups here that people run out of it. They're going to either table route the running back or angle route the running back. It's pretty standard setups here. Sometimes they may block, but we're going to go ahead and set up the defense here so you guys can see how it plays out. Like I said, we move this guy out. We're going to hard flat Burke, third downs, deep half this safety, and then purple the outside guy. That's my go-to, and then we're going to go ahead and man up this seam route. So we usually, when we man up, we're going to man up X or Y, and that way I only have to really worry about the slot wide receiver and the tight end. So when we hike the ball here, like I stated as well, if you're getting killed with the running back route, you can man yourself up to the running back. Otherwise, you can just switch stick to this purple route and try to cover both routes over the middle of the field. So if they're on the angle route over the middle, you just switch sticking is going to solve this because you just got to cover the tight end route. And you have this yellow route over the middle of the field to cover that angle route. Let's go ahead and do it again here. Everything was boxed that last time, especially when the blitz comes in. You're not going to have much time at all. recognize the play. And then you basically can just use your both of the routes there on the right side if you want, or jump down with that middle linebacker as well. Pull this guy out. You can see right there, he came right in. Everything is completely boxed. Look in the replay. The most important route is this seam. You don't want to give up the seam route. You can see it's bagged. And then once I click off, and this yellow is going to cover over the middle of the field. Otherwise, this verticals post is running into the safety. And then all you need to worry about is this right side of the field. So either guard both routes by sitting in the middle, or you can just not give up the deep route to the tight end here and give up the table route, which they'll have to obviously make a quick hot read to this route because this linebacker is coming. Real quick here, we're just going to touch on throwing corner routes as well and just showing obviously how it will get bagged in this defense. So we're not going to really have to worry about it because we can, one, sprint out there. Two, we can always switch stick as well to either the flat or an outside cornerback to try to lurk off the corner out. So this is obviously the defense. Another thing you can do here, if you're really getting destroyed, you can do the cover 2 adjustment. If they're trying to abuse this left-hand side here, you can do the cover 2 adjustment and switch stick to this outside safety in order to guard the corner. I don't really man up anybody to be in this formation. I usually will shut it down either by my user or with a switch stick. So I'm going to block my running back here to help stop the blitz. I'm going to do my best to hover. It didn't work, but you can see here, letting the play run out. This guy right here is not getting open, especially because there's the cover 2 zone and it just occupies it. I could easily have switched stick over there to stop it. Now, you still don't really have to worry about it, even if you choose not to run the cover 2. We'll just do it like this really quickly here. You can see you can switch stick like that. You sometimes risk giving up the streak deep, but I mean, if you time it right, you can easily jump down here. There's also this slot here, so as soon as I hike the ball and I realize that it's a corner on the left, I should have switched stick to this guy here. That way I can jump up and cover this route right there. But you also have this guy opportunity here to throw this guy. Usually you want to wait a little bit longer to switch stick to him because if your opponent is patient or has time, he'll throw the streak deep. But you can usually time it pretty well that you can still click on even like right as they throw it and cut down to pick the ball off. So for Texas here, what people will usually do, they're going to do a couple of different things here. I'm just going to make it like curl flat. They're going to do, it's going to look like this, and then they're going to post this B guy, so it's going to look like this, and then sometimes they'll drag the tight end. That's really all you have to worry about with this play. And with these coverage adjustments, you're not going to really have much problems, and I'll show you why. Now, you can do this one, and then I also stated you can do this coverage adjustment. They're all pretty much going to work the same here. Go ahead and hike the ball. You can see, you notice he's on the route. You can just sit open over the middle of the field. The guy's coming. Either the end or that linebacker is going to skate free on the left. I'm not really hovering much here because I'm using 2 controllers, so the blitz isn't coming in every time. You can see as soon as I hike, I'm looking and recognizing the play. They're running the curl flat setup, so all I have to do is sit in the middle. Like I say in a lot of my videos, it's mostly play recognition, so if you recognize what your opponent is in, you're going to be able to take away the play before the play even has a chance to run all the way through. Alright, so let's do it again here. We have this set up. I'm just going to run my standard coverage adjustments here. Sit in the middle of the field. They're going to call hike. We're going to go ahead and switch off. You can see even with the blitz not coming in, there's nothing that is open enough for them to make a super quick read. And once we're hovering and able to hover, the blitz is just going to come in no problem. So you can see here, we're taking away the running back route. We switch stick to this route, so it's not open. They kind of have a tight fit here to the receiver over the middle, but you still have this safety that you can switch to if you need to. The only thing that may have a chance of getting open is the curl. One, they have to make the read. Two, we can always do the other coverage adjustments where this guy is manned up, and then it should never get open. All right, so one more time here. You can see the, make sure I'm in Texas. Just trying to mimic it the best I can. You can see there, but then you can see with this coverage shell, you got two guys manned up on the left, so that's not going to be open. You can see the blitz, when you hover just enough, the blitz is screaming. Your opponent does not have any time here to make the read. And then you switch stick up here, you take away the easy read that they would have here on the right. The tight end route is more than likely going to get over the seam flat, but I switch stick on and take it away. All right, so drive post is another popular play that people will run. A lot of things that they'll do, they'll either put running back on a table or they'll go ahead and block the running back to help block the blitz and then streak the tight end. So they basically just have two quick routes on the left they can throw to. They have a table route they can throw to, or they just try to hit the post over the middle of the field. Let's go ahead and move this out here. Again, like I stated, we're going to go ahead and man this guy up to Y, and then I'm using this guy here, and then put the guy on the right in a purple. This is going to do a pretty good job itself here of stopping the play. So if you see with the offensive play art, you have two short routes, you have a post, you have a table, and that's without deciding if they want to block the running back. So the only thing with this adjustment that might get open is the outside route here, and that's going to be if it gets open quickly and they make that read in that little window they have. Otherwise, when we switch stick to this guy over here, this guy's going to sit in the middle of the field and help guard the B post and then this outside route here on the left. So let's go ahead and just run the play. You can see, guarding the post. Not much is open. Let's do it again. And if you want to as well, I guess you don't always have to man this guy up. You can put him in a hook curl if you want. So you can see I have him in the hook curl over the middle. That should also help with just the routes going over the middle of the field. This time we're going to block the running back. See, that time it swung over, but he still got the sheds here. Everything was open. They didn't have enough time here to really make a read on the play. Look at him, he's coming. By the time something got open, either there's drag route or even possibly the post, he's getting shedded and he's getting sacked. So we're just going to show this defense versus the run here before we end this video here. We're going to go ahead and move Hicks out here. First, we're just going to show versus the base. And here's our standard setup. We're just going to hover over the DP just like we normally do with the blitz. And then you just sit there and make the tackle. You can see you got a yard or two. There isn't going to be a lot of running on a 3-4 set. So you're not going to have to really worry about the run a whole lot if we're being honest. You can see we're just jumping in here, looping around. We'll do it one more time. And here it is. Also, just touching again on the adjustments. You have this coverage adjustment as well. Still. Here's the base. See, that's the most yards he got was 3 or 4 yards when I changed the shell. Now, the other run that we are going to show is the RPO. Pretty standard for a trip set end is people that like to run RPOs out of it. So you can see this is what the adjustment looks like. If you're getting completely destroyed by this RPO, you can man this guy up here, Hicks, to the RPO route. If you know that they're spamming RPOs and stuff, you can do that in order to take away that route. You can see it's just not open, and then at most are going to get a couple of yards, and that's if you don't make a tackle yourself. You can still do it like this as well, the normal defensive setup. And you have a hard flat out there, so that should help a lot as well. You have this guy manned up to slot wide receiver, so he's going to jump out for extra protection on the RPO. That way it's just making you have to focus on the run. So you can see like it's getting stopped in the backfield, all because this guy's manned up to the slot, so he's going to run to the outside. This guy is in a hard flat. He's going to help occupy the slot wide receiver, and that's just going to allow you to still run the blitz and just have to focus on the run. So right there, hitting the backfield, lost yards. So this is my favorite defensive set here to run currently versus trips tight end. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. I reply very quickly. We'll see you next time.